searching the dark side of the mountain. Through my bones and hair and blood, words rise and cold snatched from my mouth to sink them into the cold black mud.
Welcome, neighbors. Old Gods of Appalachia is a horror campaign that may contain material not suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. When the pall of death spreads over a family, there are two things that can happen. Those who remain behind can come together stronger, or they can find different purposes since their glue has unbonded. There's little question which way this family will go. While death is fresh up at the Love Mansion, there's a gathering of automobiles unlike anything seen in these parts, well, ever. Our family recently enjoyed a local romp, but tonight there is something of a special gathering up on the hill. A warm gathering to which not a single guilty hole resident was invited. Well, maybe one or two made their way up. But a party for the wealthy, the powerful, and the dangerous. Let's bring in our friends and family and neighbors and get this thing going. All right, everybody, let's go around, let everybody say who they are and where they're from. We're going to start, though, I think, with Volney, since Volney has been missing for a couple of weeks.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jellyfishlines, and I am playing Volney Hale Rogers, an uncanny speaker who possesses a gift. So nice to be back.
All right, William.
Hi, I'm Celina, and I am playing William Matheson, the cursed explorer who cannot escape the darkness. And can't escape getting hurt, apparently.
Let's go to Evangeline.
Hello, I'm Juicy Garland. I am playing Evangeline, and Evangeline is an uppity explorer who would rather be reading.
Rahrah.
I'm Rahrah, and I'll be playing Jericho Eligast, who is a superstitious herbalist that serves the green.
And finally, the saddest one, Adey.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Annie-Lynn McSweeney. I'm an honorable game warden protector who walks these woods. And I'm Lady Adey, by the way.
Well, for the last 2 weeks, we've had a bit of a missing party, and I think we should join them in what has been happening for a moment and get them caught up, perhaps, with where things are at the moment. Volney, you went back to the house after going to Gazzy Smythe's. You remember that night, right?
Sure do.
You headed home to the church, of course, where you do your sleeping and helping out around the place. And you can kind of feel a cold breeze coming in that it's just enough to kind of force your eyes to start to open, even when you very much do not want them to do so.
Hate that. Trying to go to sleep.
All right. You keep it nice and you keep those eyes nice and tight. And the coldness gets a little stronger, and you feel like maybe that window ought to be closed at some point, but it is still freezing in here tonight. For the live view, you can't imagine exactly why.
I'm gonna get up.
When you get up, you find that you are not actually in the room at the church. You are actually standing barefooted in the cold grass in some part of the woods you don't quite recognize at the moment.
Where the hell did I end up?
It is late afternoon at the moment, it seems. You can tell by the sun where it's sitting.
I need to find my way back to the hole.
The ground rumbles for a moment underneath. That's something that you hadn't felt. Actually, I don't think you ever felt it. You were not there at either of the times it happened. So the ground rumbles, and you've heard of earthquakes, but you ain't never been in one. This doesn't even seem like that much of one. It's just like a, and then it's gone like nothing ever happened. Some leaves fall off the trees and whatnot. Your feet, you find, are not as cold as they were a moment ago.
I need to get back home. I need to get back to Guilty Hole. Where's everybody?
You ain't sure where everyone is. You're not even sure which direction Guilty Hole is from here. Can you make me a perception roll, please? I would like to see how attentive you are at the moment.
Yeah, I sure can, and I'm trained in that.
Nice.
And I have an edge. What's the target?
The target on this one is a 4, so you're trying to roll above a 12.
14.
Very nice. You are looking around and you realize that the reason the cold has left your feet is that your feet are a few inches above the ground.
What the hell? I'm going to try walking.
And as you move your feet, since you're not really touching the ground, you seem to be staying still. But when you look down, one thing that does kind of come over you is the fact that there is a hole in front of you. And peeking out of that hole are 3 eyes. One of those eyes is sort of, you know how eyes sit in one place on the head like this? And there's another one. But one of them kind of is like moving a little bit out of place while the other stays where it was. The hole looks like it's about, 3-4 feet maybe.
Show yourself.
And a little black tentacle kind of rises up. And it kind of rolls under your foot. And it just sort of touches it. Doesn't stick like it's using its suckers or nothing. It is ticklish. Are you ticklish, Volney?
Not very.
So you find it hard, even though you're not ticklish, to not laugh a little bit. And the tentacle kind of wraps around you, your leg, and kind of goes up. And kind of, it feels along your back and your shoulder. And one tentacle rolls over your head. Comes down between your nose. And you feel yourself rising in the air higher. And the tentacle seems to either be rising from you rising or rising because it's lifting you.
I'm going to try and get out.
How are you going to do that?
I have an idea.
Okay.
But I'm also very bad at it. How high am I off the ground?
Right now, you're maybe 6 feet up.
Am I allowed to use a new ability?
You are allowed to use your own abilities, of course.
Can I use Damper?
Of course.
Hinder all actions attempted by any number of targets within short range who can understand you. I'm going to attempt that. Oh boy.
Make me a roll, please. You'll be doing it against. This is a kind of a place where there's not a lot of potential targets, but I'll say we'll do it on a 12 also. So 4. So you need a 12 or higher.
Okay. Okay, I'm all. Wait a minute. I'm trying to think. I haven't been here in a while. So that is. Would this be considered using magic?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so trained in that. And I have an edge again.
So that becomes a 2. You only need above a 6.
Oh, thank God.
7.
Yeah.
Of course you got a 7 because that's like a blessed number, is it not? So what is the effect you're looking to have happen from this?
Have it drop me.
All right. So the tentacle kind of pulls away, and you are left now 6 foot up in the air with no tentacle there, and the eyes pull back into the darkness of that hole, and just the hole kind of pushes dirt up into it, and there's no hole there any longer. But you are still 6 foot up in the air. You realize now that you are also in pain. You are physically bruised or beaten, and you can feel that there is both a mental anguish and a physical concern over your body. And then you hear, Volney, Volney, where'd you go? And you know that to be the preacher of the church, the Presbyterian church that you've met on many occasions, of course.
Over here. Help me down.
And as soon as you say that, you feel yourself fall from the sky where you were sitting and hit the ground hard. And then you see someone start running across the clearing to where you are. Volney, why are you out here naked? What are you doing?
I don't know.
And she takes off she has a shawl and she rolls it over your shoulder and covers you up. What happened to you? What are you doing out here, boy? This is not safe.
I don't know. I woke up out here.
You know it's cold, right? And I mean, you must have felt the cold. That didn't wake you up?
It woke me up when I woke up out here.
What happened? And she turns around and she looks at your back and she goes, What happened here? You got some injuries or something. Let's get you back to the church, and we'll take a look at you. Come on.
All right, thank you.
You spend a little time getting back to church. You realize you must have walked 2 or 3 miles from the church to get this far away. And as you're coming, you go past the a little hill with a home on it, and behind that hill there is what is commonly referred to as the guilty hole. But you go past there and you get to the church. Thank goodness it's there, and there's a warm fire, and there are people in there all waiting for you. Oh, you found him! Oh my gosh, we were so worried. Volney, what happened to you? And someone comes over and starts giving you clothes.
To be honest, that's a great question that I wish I knew the answer to.
You've been gone like a day, most of a day at least. You went out to work to do some work that I asked you to do in the graveyard, and you ain't never come back. And luckily, we were all worried about you, to be honest, because normally you only leave with your friends or you go to see your friends. And one of the kids said you went wandering off into the woods.
I don't remember doing that.
All right. Well, it's okay. Did you get the hot cocoa made? Awesome. Let's get you a little hot cocoa. Get those. Let's take care of that injury on your back, and let's get you feeling better. The fire's warm. Just stay here. And they bring over some hot cocoa, and one of the preacher actually probably is the one looking at your injuries. Did you fall on like a tree or something?
No.
All right. Okay. Well.
How bad is it?
It looked like you fell on some sticks and they stuck in your back or something, and they're like poking out. Although they don't look like they're bleeding from the wounds. It looks like they're bleeding from pushing out from the other side, but you don't have injuries on your chest. I can't quite make heads or tails of it. I think you just you must have fallen on something and it got stuck. We're going to have to try and pull them out, I suppose.
Do it.
All right, give me a pair of pliers in here and a stick. Volney's gonna need to clamp down his teeth on something, I think.
No.
Oh yes, and they shove a piece of stick in your mouth so that you can. All right. Get the children out of here. They do not need to be here for this. And she goes back and she puts the pliers on the piece for a moment. And when the pliers come down, you feel the pliers clamp down on part of you. And they start pulling on your back. And you feel your back just kind of, ah! You feel the pain of it.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my God. I think you fell out of a tree because there are feathers in like little tiny feathers on part of these things. Like, what are these? Give me a saw, maybe. Maybe we'll just saw it. What?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay.
All right. Well, all right. You may want to sleep on your side for a bit. Why don't we get you to bed? You can get a little rest. Enjoy your hot cocoa. And what do you do after they give you that? You go and rest or do something?
I'm going to just lay down for a little bit and contemplate my life.
Okay. So you're laying down. After a little while, you wake up to someone nudging you, like to wake you up or something. You know how they shake you to wake you up? And when you do, you see there are 3 or 4 dark figures in the darkness that are kind of tugging on not so much the outside of your body as the inside. And their hands are going in and out of you, and you feel the motion of it as they're tugging at you. But at that moment, you realize they're kind of, you don't really know the right word. You can kind of see through them a little bit. It's not like they're completely opaque. That may be too big of a word, I suppose.
You can stop doing that, right?
And they stop, the 3 or 4 of them, and they pull back. And they turn away, and they walk through the walls and leave the room where you are. And you're sitting in the darkness.
I need to find my friends. And I'm going to feel at my back.
There's some sticks sticking out of them. They're sort of, not sticks so much. They do feel a little softer in that. And as you feel them, weirdly, you can feel yourself feeling them. Kind of like if you rub your toe. You can feel yourself feeling your toe, right? It's the same thing. Same thing.
Yeah. I need to find everybody. And I'm going to walk out of that church.
In your robe?
I'm going to put on clothes at least.
Okay, that's a good idea. So you get dressed, you find your way to town. All right, back in town, not everyone, I think there were only a couple people, Rahrah, or Jericho, and Evangeline and the doctor were standing out there kind of watching don't want to call it a procession of automobiles, but a couple of automobiles heading up there. And as you're doing it, you see Biddle kind of walk by with her log, of course. She's looking up there, and she looks back at you. That ain't right. We don't need that many cars in our town, automobiles in our town. Don't you think?
Nothing feels quite right about tonight. I was thinking about even going up there and taking a look, but Victor just passed, so we're actually sitting waiting on Annie.
Victor passed?
Yeah, he had a car accident. Looks like he got hurt pretty bad.
And she looks down at her log. Victor passed. Oh, honey, I know he was one of your favorites. Oh, did it just happen? I mean, I'll come back tomorrow and I don't want to interrupt the family.
It just happened.
Oh,
she's
I'm
still...
so sorry. Please give Annie my condolences and my blessings. Our condolences and our blessings, of course, not just mine.
Yeah. Well, hopefully everything will get a little easier. Knock on wood.
And Jericho, you know that Ubittle, as old as she is, she believes that the soul of her wife is, when she passed, went into this log. That's why she always has the log with her.
Which is fair.
Yeah, that could happen.
But I'm sure Annie wouldn't want to receive any sort of wishes right now. Maybe tomorrow or the next day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she looks forlorn as she continues down the street, heading back.
Did you say Miss Evangeline was out there also?
Actually, Miss Bill, if you have a moment, and Evangeline will run up, perhaps you could tell me a bit about the history of the town, and perhaps you could inform me about the history of the Loves, if you don't mind.
Oh, I mean, the town came from stealing coal from the mine illegally, you know. I mean, well, it wouldn't be stealing so much if it wasn't illegal, I suppose. But, you know, and Victor was the one that found the mine. He was the one doing most of the stealing at the time.
Yes. What do you know about that, actually? I'd like additional context, if you have any.
Well, the mine used to be owned by other people, but they were bought out soon afterwards by the Elders and the Idols and the Loves. Their consortium. Is that a word, consortium? I heard that word once when they were saying what they were.
It is, yes. It's a group of people or businesses or organizations.
Yeah,
yes.
the three of them were the major owners. There are other owners. I think. I remember one time the Fillmores came through. I think they're a small owner in the mine too, and the Sidoras and who else? I remember, Sella, she is an owner of it too, and Petrick, he's the tile maker that, I mean, he almost never comes in town anyway, but he is with them, I guess, I don't know how he's an owner. He doesn't seem to have no money, if you ask me.
Yes. And do you remember anything about Sella, specifically?
I remember she likes to have her boyfriends and her girlfriends, that's for sure. And every person around here has been warned not to get with her. She is a dangerous woman.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I gathered. And the Loves, do you know what might be going on up there tonight? It's been a great deal of activity.
It's odd. Normally they tell us when they're having a big meeting or something, and there was no mention. So maybe it's just a private family affair, but it seems like a pretty big family, bigger than I would have suspected for her. But I mean, maybe it's all of them gathering up. Who knows?
And with all those vehicles, that's a lot of, I would assume, wealthy people. Do you know who that might be? I would assume with your history with the town, you'd have a lot of knowledge.
Well, I'm going to assume that the Loves, the Idols, and the Elders are going to be there if that's what this is.
Yes.
Sella will probably be there. potentially Mr. Fillmore and his wife. I don't recall her name at the moment. Petrick. And I mean, Mr. Booker, he's always supplying all the booze.
Never.
I mean, I don't know if you know that, but he still is in the business of liquor because it's ridiculous, this prohibition stuff, you know.
Well, mum's the
Yeah, no
word
shit.
between you and me, but I'm shocked. Absolutely shocked. Now, where I might get some?
Well, from T.J. Booker, he can supply you as much as you want. I mean, his stills are legendary.
I've heard a little bit, but not much. Understood. Thank you. And if you can think of anything else, please let me know. But that was helpful.
I mean, if you ever really needed to meet up with him, you could go to the Speakeasy. You know, that would be your easiest way to find him.
Where is that?
Oh, it's on his property. He's got it on his home.
Oh,
Yeah, he's got a big basement on his home that has turned into kind of a nightclub, gambling establishment, dance hall, pretty much all the vices that are not really suitable for children, you know.
yes. I mean, a lady would rarely, if never, go. But does it have a certain code word? I've heard they do.
A certain what?
Code word to enter?
Oh yeah, you gotta say the word break tooth blind pig, and that will let you in the door.
Break tooth blind pig. Understood. Thank you.
Told ya.
Yeah, that's kind of the unofficial name of the Speakeasy.
Thank you. I do appreciate that, and thank you for taking the moment so late in the evening. Have a lovely evening,
Thank
and
you.
take care with your log.
Oh, Jenny here, she has always said what's the word she used? She said you were someone to trust, but could also be reckless. So I kind of like that, you know. Who doesn't want to have a little recklessness around?
You know, I quite agree. Thank you.
William, if Annie comes out of there wanting blood, are you ready to bleed something tonight? We should probably talk while we have a quick second.
And while you're out there, you see coming from down the street, Volney kind of walking, kind of a mystified on his face, at a distance
Well,
at the
shit.
No, he probably teleported again, which is completely normal thing to do.
Volney!
What?
Huh?
What
You
the
guys-
fuck? Where you been?
Are you all right?
Can Jericho check my back?
Yeah, I think Jericho probably seems a little flustered because he's like, Annie's in there mourning her dead father. Like,
Yeah.
hey, Volney. But I'll look like, looks like you got bandage, some sort of treatment. You go to the doctor? What was this?
Take
There's
a
little-
little bandages.
You pokey.
I don't know what it is. I woke up in the middle of the woods. I was 6 feet off the ground.
What?
What?
Like a booger.
No.
Oh, like a
Jared,
normal,
come
like a
on.
normal person. Sorry, William.
There
like
was
a normal
something-
person.
Let that go.
There was something in the ground that grabbed me.
Can you describe it?
Black as ink.
And?
Like those weird ocean creatures.
A tentacle.
A
Yeah.
squid?
Yeah,
Or an
squid.
octopus or something?
Like a squid.
I thought we
Fuck.
killed. I thought we killed that fucker.
Well,
Yesterday.
when did this happen? Yesterday. Well,
I tell them about the standing stones, where Annie and I saw the reporter being pulled into the hole actively.
what?
What?
Oh, sorry, we were dealing with Victor. There was pressing matters. I apologize.
Okay, so he's dead, like DED dead.
And something large in the ground, was withdrawn drawing him in, possibly the same tentacles that reach from the Guilty Hole to Volney to Victor. Is it that lodge, or are these multiple creatures?
Okay, that's a
I
lot.
think we might
of...
be hunting people tonight.
Well, it stands to reason if there's one, there'd be more.
How's
Right?
Amy's dad?
No.
He's no longer with us, Volney.
Yes, unfortunately.
I'm so sorry.
And he's inside.
We're giving her some time. You want some? I mean, TJ's truck is right here if anybody wants anything. And you can see that William is definitely kind of swaying a little bit.
Yeah, not everything is smashed or drunk
There's some there.
or
If you
pocketed.
want any.
I'm gonna say Annie at that moment just like appears in the doorway, just like smoking. I've only.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. We all got our time. It's nature, ain't it?
How mad are you?
If the devil could cast a net, I'd throw it into that building, I tell you what. That mad. Out of character. Do I know about my dad's gun collection? Like, do I know?
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't hide it from you. I mean, he shared everything with you except one thing.
Okay. If I may, how many guns does he have?
He has. I need a dice.
1d6.
Yeah, 1d6. What do I need to roll for
This is
it?
a rare time I need a dice for this game.
Going to Annie's would be great because I could check on Barbara, too.
Oh, Jesus.
If she's even
We gotta
there and
murder
not
that
at the
fucking
party
hand.
up the street.
4.
He's got 4 guns. Okay.
Yeah. Two are pistols.
Okay, so we got 2 pistols.
That was
So
funny.
okay, so those are light weapons. Does he have any shotgun?
Yeah, 1 shotgun, 1 rifle, 2 pistols.
Okay. So he's got 2 pistols, 1 shotgun, and a rifle.
Yep.
Okay. How much ammo? Out of curiosity.
Fair question.
We can go look.
So out of character. Hopefully Annie knows this. If not, I can go and count myself in character.
2d10. Blah, blah, blah.
2d100.
He had 1 box of shotgun shells. The box held 20.
Okay.
He had. I don't think that's the right die for that one. He had 29 bullets for the rifle,
Okay.
and he had 18 bullets for the 2 pistols.
Sounds like a party.
William, in Annie's eyes, I can tell she's counting ammunition.
Volney's just looking at her with like sick feelings in his stomach, and it's just like, how much blood are you craving?
I don't know. I consider myself a honest person. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I ain't never felt this darkness in my whole life. I'm so angry, all I can see is red. All I can think about is finding that woman who done this to my family and just putting one right between her eyes, or whatever she is.
That's the issue.
I'm with Annie on this one.
Jer, do you know how to exorcise a demon? Or whatever this spirit or booger is?
I know how to try. These feel different. They don't feel angel or demon. They feel old, but from here. I don't know. This is way out of my wheelhouse, William. I heal folks. I play with flowers. This isn't what I normally deal with.
That may be the case, but they do require human actors. And there's a house full of them up on the hill.
So you're suggesting we just massacre a bunch of people who may not have anything to do with this?
Oh no, I ain't gonna do that.
No. But the likelihood of those people in that house having nothing to do with this is rather low. And I think we all know that.
I don't disagree. I have my own BS with the idols, I guess. Something with family back home. But we need to set a few ground rules if we're going to go attack a house that's having a party.
Well, when you put it like that, William.
Do you really think it's a party?
A gathering. Gathering, it's basically the same thing.
I bet you a mule cart that Barbara will not be in my house, and neither will the jar, and we'll probably find it up there. This could be more of a birth than a party.
And I'd rather bet you $1,000 they're not having fun.
Actually, out of character, out of curiosity, how far along is Jenny Love?
How far along?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't think you would know. I'm not
That's
sure
fair. That is very fair. I would not. I have been avoiding her like the plague.
I have a compromise proposition.
Would I know?
Ooh.
Having interviewed everybody in town.
You would know she's probably nearing the end of 8-9 months, somewhere in there.
What if we walk back to Annie's so she can get anything she's interested in getting? I can check on Barbara. We can discuss on the way. And if we decide to leave that party alone, we know a couple holes that have situations going on around them. And if we want to commit violence for the sake of that, we have targets.
Yes, and in the name of efficiency, just to bring it up, we do have a truck full of booze, which happens to be flammable, and so don't wooden houses, which have few exits and entrances that could be blocked discreetly.
I was going to get some rags.
Are you suggesting we murder a house full of people in a cabin?
Well, it's better than shooting them and putting our lives at risk.
It's better to have options.
Just putting it out there.
We've ran into things that bullets don't hurt, that fire doesn't hurt, that axes don't hurt. So the more tools we have, the better our chances of not turning up like poor Victor in there.
So, William, given the fact that we have experienced an aeroplane falling out of the sky, undead creatures that we rammed with the vehicle, creatures in the ground attacking us with tentacles that resemble sea creatures of some sort, and grand conspiracies about mines in town that are owned by the group of people that are in that house up there, I do think that it is reasonable to presume that all of those people up there are doing something strange and unusual, all connected to, well, what led to the death of Victor. And I think that Annie's desire to knock heads together does make sense.
I don't disagree with that. People deserve justice, but also that doesn't necessarily mean they deserve to be murdered or burned alive.
And
who's to say they're people?
Well,
Say they're alive.
some of them have to be. I mean, I'm not gonna kill a pregnant woman.
No, well,
Let's just say
yes.
that, okay? At least.
That's
We have to
fair.
have some sort of ground rules here if we're gonna we're gonna be harming humans.
I'll get her
At
out.
least perceived humans.
We should
Right?
inspect first. Yes, I do agree. But, in my experience, wealthy people, unchecked by powers like local police who do nothing, tend to abuse everyone around them. The only thing that tends to keep people, such as those in Nantucket and Boston, in check are active police who are sometimes uncorrupt and rarely so. Here, you are not so lucky. This is why I'm suspicious. But yes, I would verify first. And if we can find that out, and maybe going and observing what's going on up on that hill first would be good. But let's go get some guns, and maybe a couple boxes of booze, and then we can make some decisions.
Yeah, I'd turn to Annie and be like, whatever you want to do, Annie. I don't really care about the semantics. You say it, I'm here.
You know,
Your mom might be alive, your dad's not. Like, you say go, that's a chance worth taking for me.
I don't mind doing some spying before. Perhaps we can spare some innocents. Who knows if that baby inside her belly is even a real baby or not. All I know is, at the time as a game warden, sometimes white-tailed deer get a bit crazy. Too many of them. Start wrecking the ecosystem. You're gonna keep them wrecking the ecosystem. Sometimes you gotta call the herd. Maybe this is that herd that we gotta call. You know what I mean?
Annie, maybe you could be a woman of science one day. Look at you.
Yeah.
Jericho just goes, oh, fuck, and starts walking on.
Yeah.
Despite the logical leap about this strange baby, which is probably just a baby.
Clenching
I
his
do
jaw.
agree.
Fall after Jericho.
Let's go, Annie.
Let's go back to the house. My dad has some guns.
I'm going to try to leave them at Annie's house and keep going to my house real quick, but
All right.
our houses aren't far apart.
Yeah.
Here, Volney, take a crate of booze.
Oh, thank you.
You okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Annie,
Is there something we're missing from their story?
I don't know. I was apparently told to go grab something, clean up the churchyard. And then I woke up in the middle of the woods.
What's on your back? And Annie starts poking, like, the lumps that are on Volney's back. What are those?
I don't know. I woke up with these. I was brought back to town with these.
When you touch them, they feel kind of like deer antlers during rutting season, where they get like that fleshy growth over them. It feels kind of like that, but it's like Volney's own flesh kind of feel.
Did a deer attack you?
No.
Huh.
And they're only
Do you
sticking
feel
out
it when
about.
I touch it?
They're only sticking out like 1.5 inches, 2 inches.
Oh. You feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll be.
Shit.
We got ourselves our very own angel. So then Annie like cackles, kind of like weird, like very uncharacteristically Annie, and like goes into her house and starts like ruffling through stuff.
And you all wait while Annie collects her stuff. Back at Jericho's, you get to your
The
house.
sound of Annie's cackle over the wind. He's like, oh, fuck.
You get to your house, and the jar is on the ground on its side. Barbara's still in it, of course. But Barbara looks a little limp, not quite so energized as before. still color to it, to her hand and arm, as if it was growing healthiness. Just looks unattentive.
Part of me just wants to open up and let you run out into those woods, Barbara, but you might be a key instead of a hand, so I have to bring you, and I'm sorry if I have to give you to someone that means ill for you, but they mean ill for us too. I don't know what you are, so I don't know how to care about you, or if I'm supposed to. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with any of this, Barbara. And he's gonna just start, like, packing a bag. Anything that might be able to be put to use, bandages, hand shaking, like, those youngins are gonna bleed, and they have a right to need to, but I don't want to see it again. And he's just gonna kind of prepare himself. No time to probably make a cipher, but anything that's like, oh, that might be of use, that might be of use.
Can you make me not use magic, the other one,
Understand
magic roll, please?
I am trained with an edge and intellect, and that's a 16.
The jar that Barbara is in has got sort of a film on the bottom of whatever the material is that periodically is exuded from the arm. I mean,
Palm oil.
Now at one point it was palm oil. Now it's more like elbow grease.
Nice.
But there is some of that in there, and you get a feeling from looking at that it might, if this hand is magical, that might actually be magical in some way too.
I'd have to reach past her hand into the jar
you
to
would.
scoot you. But yes. I'm gonna very carefully, but at this point, I don't know. I think Jericho, right or wrong, has a little bit of a trust that Barbara's not just gonna try to strangle him. Could be naive as all hell, but he's gonna, I think, open it up and maybe try to scoop some, but also like poke her.
Can you make me a speed roll, please?
Yes. That's a 3, but it's a real solid 3, Scott.
Oh, it is solid 3. So you poke Barbara, and Barbara reacts kind of violently, just quickly scratching at your arm, and scratches your arm above your wrist.
I'll try not to pull away too quick, like,
Yeah.
not to scare more.
Yeah, a little bit of blood, trickles out, And when the blood trickles out, the elbow, like where the elbow is kind of growing, there's some tendrils that kind of reach to the blood, and you see color come into the hand a little more, just for a moment. But you did get some of the stuff in your hand from the bottom.
And even seeing all that, I will let myself drip a little before I put the cap all the way. Like, I'll feed her.
All right.
Gotta keep it alive enough to know if we've got a traitor.
You feed it, and the arm continues growing a little bit, and oddly, you're actually able to see it growing. Like, it is growing fast enough from blood, unlike from everything else that's been around it, that you see it grow a half an inch of arm in the time you're watching for a few minutes there.
All right, William's gonna fucking hate me for this, and I'm gonna put the cap back on and, like, shove it into her side bag. Like, you're coming with us. Strap up, Barbara. And try to get back to Annie's, because I think he's a little afraid of just being by himself right now, too. And he likes to walk in the dark.
Or you hear from outside in the distance.
I'm booking it to Annie's.
Probably just a hound anyway, not a wolf or nothing. There ain't been wolves around here much lately.
I should have grabbed
Mainly
a gun.
coyotes.
Coyotes, maybe.
And I'll try to run back to the group.
Yeah, you get back to the group. They're gathering their stuff. Annie's still chuckling at the angel comments. They're all gathering on the porch at the moment. And another car goes by.
This is gonna be a bit unhinged. Can I shoot one of the tires?
I cannot stop you, and I don't think you're going to miss because you are a good enough shot. Wait, have you been drinking?
No. This
No, I
is
don't
just
think so.
raw anger. This is just
All right.
Annie's
Amazing.
just impulse.
You may
Does
attempt
it?
to shoot a tire.
Should I roll for it or?
Yes.
Okay.
You have
It's a 5. I mean.
right. You needed a 9, but you're an expert shot. You've got several levels. It would be down to probably a 1. You would need to roll above a 3. You know, it's close enough.
Okay.
You got you can aim and all that. It is not getting away.
Okay.
And the car skids and veers.
Can I arrive right then?
Yeah, you're arriving as you see her shooting the tire off a car as it's trying to turn the corner up the mine road,
And then-
the deep mine road.
Then you see my face, like, almost as if I put a mask on, like, go,
Annie,
oh
there
my
could have been
God,
a kid on
I'm
there.
sorry, I'm so sorry, oh my God. I go running up to the car. And who's in the car, just out of curiosity?
And there are 2 people in that car. There is both of them. Their eyes are as wide as a bug, and
Oh,
they look nervous. One of them looks like he's in his one of them looks like she's in her 20s. The other one looks like maybe in his 20s or 30s. And then in the back seat, you see a little girl.
all right.
What happened? What happened? Did you shoot at us?
I'm so sorry. I was trying to shoot a vole. You see, they're an invasive species around here. I'm the local game warden. My name's Annie-Lynn McSweeney. May I ask, why are you out so late with the daughter so young? Should be her bedtime.
We're going up to the Loves.
The Loves. It's fun, ain't it? You got a spare tire? Maybe I could help you put it on.
I don't rightly know. And the man who's sitting in the other seat, the passenger seat, I think we got one. Let me go check.
Oh yeah, I'll help you with that too. Rolls up the sleeves.
And the little girl rolls her window down. Can I see that badge?
Yeah, you can.
I don't believe that. That's
Hey,
not a
sweetheart.
sheriff. What is that?
It's a game warden. I'm part of special forces. You see, I protect these woods. Now, I got a question for you, because you look like a really smart little girl. Where are your parents taking you tonight? What kind of party is it? I love parties.
I don't know. We're going up to that ugly ass house. That ugly house, not ugly ass. That
Ooh,
ugly
you
house.
you got a tongue on you, girl. Don't worry, I won't tell your parents what you just said. What's your name, by the way? I'm Annie-Lynn.
I'm Brandy Crandall. And as she's talking to you, instead of talking to your face, she's like talking to your rifle.
Oh, you see. And I like put it out in front of me and I say,
You may not
And then
shoot
I, like-
that. You may not shoot that.
oh, I ain't gonna shoot it. And I like take the bullets out and I dump them and I put them back in my jacket. And I'm like, see, it's completely empty. I ain't gonna shoot nothing.
And
I
she
was just
looks
trying to shoot a bowl.
She looks back
That's
to
why I
where
got
you
the
were
tire.
and she goes, You're a really good shot to hit a tire from all the way over there.
Yeah.
That ain't
I
no
know.
joke. That's like circus shooting.
I am. I'm a competition sharpshooter on the weekends sometimes.
Well,
Won
why are
some
you shooting at our
awards up in
car? At our automobile?
Like
My
I
pa's
said, I was
gonna be
trying to
so
shoot
mad
I was
about-
trying to shoot a bowl. Sorry, sweetheart. I'm gonna tell you what. Gonna be our little secret. Do you mind if we follow your car tonight?
we'll just give you a ride if you need a ride, won't we, Ma? And the lady in the front seat's eyes are like,
Oh, it's just, ma'am, I'm just sorry. It's just to track the voles. You see, we had a car, but I just need to track these voles, and I can't get up to that hill. You see, their nesting site is right up there on that hill where that party is, and I got to get all of them, or my my commissioner up there is gonna go nuts.
Uh-oh, we lost someone.
We lost them.
And they're back.
Hey.
But they're in the wrong places.
Oh no.
I'll fix it. We'll just take
No, the warden's very serious about her vole. She does this all the time.
Yeah, so I had a car broke down, you see. I gotta get up there.
And she looks at her ma and she goes, they can sit in the rumble seat. That'll be fine, won't it? They won't even be in the car then. It's like being out of the car. I guess they can sit in the rumble. Y'all can sit in the rumble seat if you can fit. I don't think y'all fit, but you can try. And the man back there, he takes the tire out from under the rumble seat. And the rumble seat is basically a seat that's in the trunk that faces backwards. I don't know if you've ever seen one, and some of the old cars had them.
All right. Well, my friends and I are very excited on this great scientific expedition to locate the nests of these invasive voles, you see. Everybody,
Amber, you sure this is a good idea? Along? They shot at us and we're giving them a ride. This does not feel like...
I could just drive your car if you're not filling up for it.
It sounds like a good idea to give them a ride that they need. If we need to give them a ride, we ought to give them a ride.
Can Volney try to just sense if there's any type of weird things going on with these people?
You can sense that they're afraid, except Brandy, who's not at all afraid.
She does not seem like a fine girl.
Is more excited.
It would be the neighborly thing to do.
And we're neighborly people, says Brandy. We would not deny, the services, helpful services.
Gosh dang, voles got me right here.
Yeah, look at that.
It's really bad.
Heck. They're wolves
Gotta get them.
Here?
They're invasive, I tell you what.
Oh yes, it has been a terrible evening. You wouldn't believe the things we've been through just trying to find these terrible creatures.
And the lady gets out of the car to watch kind of the tire, but she's looking at you, Evangeline. You ain't from around here. That is not an Appalachian accent. That is Northeast, I think.
Oh yes, I went to Bryn Mawr, and then I studied over at Harvard, and now I teach. Yes, I'm on sabbatical right now, studying down here. I'm actually with these people with looking for the voles, and yes, Evangeline. And she'll extend her hand for a handshake.
And she puts her hand out, and it's a firm enough handshake, not like a powerful one, but like a respectable handshake. I'm Brandy.
Yes,
I'm Amber, I mean.
Amber, wonderful to meet you. Yes, Evangeline Blank. I'm from Boston.
And Stephen starts jacking up the car.
There you go, Stephen. Just a little higher. You're doing great.
Thank you. Could you get me the tire iron? I need to take the tire off.
No problem, Stephen. I'll just hand you this tire iron right here.
What does a vole look like?
Oh, it's like a little muskrat, you see. It's got a long body, and it's quite like weasel-like, honestly. It kind of looks like a weasel, if you ever seen a weasel.
Our friend's parents were killed by a vole, so they named him Volney. So we're actually doing this out of remembrance to him.
I do believe they're related to shrews.
I ain't never seen none of those things. I don't even...
And pray you don't.
And he finishes getting the
tire
done.
Like I said, they did this damage. That's not... They're monsters.
They're small, but they're vicious. Now, Amber, can you tell me what is going on? What are you headed to this evening? It is rather late, is it not?
Yeah, we're going up there. Our mother said for us to come up tonight, that we should be here for this party that's going on.
Oh, a party. Wonderful. What's the occasion? How exciting.
I don't know. I think they're talking about business stuff.
Oh, boring.
I
My father
know.
always talks business.
And Brandy hops in. She goes, "It ain't boring. The idea of owning a business and controlling the lives of so many people is a kind of an amazing thing to think about, don't you think?"
Oh, well, aren't you advanced, child? Excellent. How old are you?
I'm 10.
You've got an excellent future ahead of you. I suspect that the 30s are going to be wonderful for business. You're going to be doing just splendid.
I ain't going into no business. I hate business. I just think it's interesting, the idea of what they talk about all the time, and the unions and all that. Can you be quiet? So the mother says, "None of that matters to you. You are a 10-year-old, well, right now a brat, but we need to just sit down and relax and get them to where they're going for their vole hunting while we get up to the party."
Well, what sort of business are you in? My father is a doctor and rather well off. So what do you do?
And Brandy looks at her mom and then looks back at you. Almost, it's not quite a smirk, but maybe underneath there's a smirk. Our mother's one of the owners of the mines and other investment things, I think. Although I don't know what an investment thing is, but one of the mine. Or not my mother, my grandmother is.
Oh, who's your grandmother?
Margaret Idle. Can you be quiet, please? You need to zip it.
Oh, I've not yet had the pleasure. Does she, I assume, does not live in town?
Oh, no. She says she hates it. Can you be quiet, please? Can you hurry up with that tire, Steven? We need to get going. They need to get on their vole hunt. We got things to do.
You mean the idols as in like the bank, right?
Yeah, I guess. Mines, banks, whatever. Whatever makes money. That's what rich people do.
Indeed. Make
Fair.
money, save money. Never work.
Well, they work. They talk about things all the time. They never stop working, it seems. Although I don't know if they ever work hard. Is
say
talking
work.
hard? I don't think that's
Oh,
hard
yes.
work.
Never labor is what I meant.
Oh, no.
That's what capital's for.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's what I heard that word once or twice or several times. Capital. I've heard
Just tighten that
debt
last
and
bolt there,
investment. No, investment arrangements and things like that. And somebody said debt is a great weapon. And can you be quiet? We have got to. And he goes, "All right, the tire's fixed. We can get on the road. Can we help you into the?" He goes back to the rumble seat and he says, "Can I help you up?" And he puts his hand out to help up anyone who needs it.
Oh, yes, thank you. And Brandy, by the way, there's a wonderful book you should check out. It's called Das Kapital. It is in German, but I do believe there are English translations. I think you'd love it. It's on
there are,
economics.
yes.
She takes out what looks like almost like a reporter's notebook, and she has little notes on it. And she goes,
Oh, excellent.
"Do
I
not
have
write
one
that
too.
book
See?
down. It's too late."
As we're crawling into the back seat, Jericho's gonna make sure to hand Annie like a watering can to make sure she drinks something. And also, if you grabbed any sort of like jerky or trail mix, knowing that people forget to eat after death, he's going to just try to kind of, she's real mad right now, but maybe in time she'll calm down, and it's better for her to eat and drink leading up to that.
Brandy gets out of the car. "I'm going to sit in the back in the rumble seat. One of you can sit inside. I want to sit near the game warden. I got some questions."
Of course. But
I don't think that's a good
hold on.
idea. I don't care if you think it's a good idea or not. I'm sitting back here. You always tell me, always take opportunities to learn. Have you not always said that? And her eyes roll, and she turns back into the car and sits down. "Come on, let's go."
I'll take the third rumble seat.
There's enough for
Anybody else
4
wants to
in
join
the
me?
back. She will squeeze in to make it 5. That means there's one. One would have to sit on the inside at least.
I mean, you're more than welcome to sit in my lap if you're comfortable with that. Save
Sure,
some space.
I will do so.
Volney, chat him up. You're good at the talking.
I am going to wait. Am I? Yeah, I'm not muted. Sorry, I thought I was muted. I am going to get a. There's like a giant leather bag that I have with me, and I'm gonna hand it to Jericho, and I'm gonna look at him dead in the eyes and be like, "Whew, gosh, this explosive equipment for these voles is really heavy. I'd be appreciating it if you would look after it for me."
Oh, definitely. At least the bag will be a lot lighter on our way home.
What
I
kind
hope
of
so.
equipment?
Oh, it's none of y'all. Don't look at it. Honestly, it actually
She
smells
can't
really
not look
bad.
at it now.
Oh, I'm holding it.
Oh my God, you're blowing up animals.
Oh, not blowing them up, just flushing them out.
More like fireworks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, you stick it down the burrows.
holy
Mhm.
cow.
I mean, that is one of the
How
one
do
way to
I
think
become
about
a
it.
game warden again? What's the process for that? Did you take your
Well-
notebook out?
Quite interesting, actually. You got to take a test. You got to know your
Damn.
animal, and you got to respect nature.
I'm
In
totally,
respect,
I'm totally in fear of nature, and that is a form of respect, I think, right? Is it not?
Yeah, and then she like looks at her like really closely and goes, "You got to respect nature, and it's real essence. You know what I mean? Real nature." And I'm like,
She's
Annie's
writing
just,
your
like,
words like verbatim.
raised eyes, just like looking like, when nature's real, you gotta respect it. Now,
Yeah,
I'd love to
yeah.
get to this party.
And
Just like very gently, because like as you're looking at her, because she's sitting in Will's lap, just kind of gently, just around, just kind of just has his hand on your shoulder, just kind of gently, just pushing you a little bit further from her face, so you're not just like freaking her out. Just
Oh, I'm sorry. I
little
I
intense.
love nature so much. I love
she
nature
taps
so
the back
much.
Don't
window.
we all?
Come on, Ma, let's go.
Yeah,
It's
let's
like,
go, Mom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh,
And the car
fuck.
starts to move.
Okay.
Inside the car. Who's inside the car now? Evangeline or Volney
Yeah.
or who?
I'll
I think Evangeline is,
Okay.
and then
think we all
there's
are in. We're
space
just
in the
like-
back for what, 2 or 3?
3 could be back there. You could do 2 or 3 either way, front in the back seat or the rumble seat.
I'm sitting with Evangeline.
Okay.
All
Swell.
right. So you and Evangeline are inside. The rest of you are outside with Brandy.